Hi everybody, it's Tammy back again. This is day 2 of the Tammy Diaries. I am absolutely blown away by the response that I've had in the last 24 hours. It's definitely been an emotional 24 hours, let me tell you that. From being scared to death. There's a lot of self-doubt, a lot of fear, because for the last couple of years I've been told to stay in the shadows. Problem is, though, is by being in the shadows, I'm not sure if I mentioned it yesterday, but being in the shadows of anything remotely close to this is it's almost like a death wish, really. Because nobody's going to fight for you like you, except for me. This is the funny part. How I managed to gain the courage for this is by being on other fibromyalgia sites and reading the posts, whether they're 2 sentences or 20 pages, reading them in the comments. It makes you feel like it's not just you. And it's not just you. The videos that I'm going to post daily are about me personally, but also with my fellow warriors. So I want to tell you a little bit about me, though, pre-health issues. Let's see here. I'm 46 years old. I have 2 kids who are the absolute light of my life. I have a son who's 27 and a daughter who's 20. My life hasn't always been easy. I grew up in the Cambridge area. I did move out west for a couple of years as a child, but for the most part spent almost all of my life actually in the Cambridge area, be it Galt, Preston, Hespeler, and if you're not new to the area, then those 3 little towns there would make sense to you. Otherwise, we're just the Kitchener-Waterloo region. I now live in Kitchener. I've been here, it was 2 years November, with my husband, Andre, who is absolutely the love of my life next to my kids. So, as I stated, I'm 46. I have 2 kids. I was young when I had my son Aaron. I had him the day before my 19th birthday. Not really what you have planned for your 19th. However, it's funny because people spend their entire lives trying to figure out what their purpose is for being here. And I know, and I've always known, that my purpose was to be their mom. I have this mom instilled in me. It's amazing. At the same time, though, it can be, it's a positive and a negative. I cannot turn the mom off. I will mother my children, your children, strangers' children, even people that are of my senior. I tend to try to take care of and make feel better. I believe that because taking care of people is my passion. Oh, we're getting more notifications. Taking care of people is my passion. And I tend to sometimes mother everybody a little bit too much sometimes. But it is who I am. Positive or negative, it's the way I was made. Not just made or built, but also raised. I was raised by a very loving mom and an amazing dad. He's a mechanic, and he has busted his ass his entire life to take care of his family. By blood, he is not my my biological father. However, he's never ever made me feel any different. I have my mom, who, other than a couple of times when she worked, she was a home mom, which was awesome. Because she was always there, and she's always been there. Things they've done and how they've instilled my values, and made me the person I am. I can never thank them for that. There's no dollar amount that can go on that. So I had a really good upbringing. I have 2 brothers and a sister. My brother, I'm the oldest. My brother, right after myself, lives in Edmonton, and he had my first 2 nephews and my niece, who are recently back in my life. They've moved back from Newfoundland, which is awesome, so we can kind of rebond again and become part of each other's lives again. And then my sister, who is the baby of the girls, her and her husband had the next 2 loves of my life, Carly and Ethan. And but mind you, at the same time, pretty much about a couple weeks later, after Carly's 9, Ethan, sorry, I totally just messed all of that up. I apologize. I'm the oldest, and then it's my brother Derek, who lives in Edmonton, who had Dylan, Josh, and Chelsea. Now Dylan is 22. No, wait, that's not right. 23, I think. Yes, because Aaron's 27. So Dylan's 23. I believe Josh is 22, and Chelsea will be creeping up on 20. And so then, like I said, then Carly came. Carly's 9. And 4 weeks later, my baby brother, Johnny, and his wife, Sarah, they had my gorgeous niece, Hannah. So like I said, she's 9 as well. 4 weeks, I believe, pretty close to the day of a month after Carly. And then came my wee man, which is Ethan. Ethan's almost 7 in a couple of weeks. And then Derek had Aubrey. So I have 2 of my own children, and then of course I've got my little babies that take up the rest of my heart. Some of them aren't very little anymore. Ethan's almost 7, and he's pretty much the height of his auntie. I've always wanted to help people any way I could. Didn't matter what it was. Whether it's a hug, a smile, a hello, a text. I've always had this gift of being able to read people and just kind of knowing when they kind of just need that little, I got you. So, anyways, like I said, I live in Kitchener now with my husband, Audrey, and it's my 2nd marriage. But before that, like I said, I was, for a while there, I was a single mom of Aaron, and then Becca for a while too, single mom of 2 kids. I am not a lazy person. I never have been a lazy person. I do love my sleep, I can tell you that. However, once I'm up, awake, and functioning, I'm not lazy, or I wasn't lazy anyways. There were times that I would work not only 1 full-time job, but sometimes I would have 2 or 3 jobs at the exact same time. I also volunteered at the kids' schools for trips, and for 2 years, I think it was, I volunteered in class once or twice a week for sure, to help with reading and so forth with the kids, and I absolutely adored it. 3 things I wanted to be growing up. One was to be a mom, then was to be a flight attendant, and teacher. I wanted to be a teacher. But my grades weren't good enough to be a teacher, and well, as I stated, I had Aaron the day before my 19th birthday, and so flight attending was out because you really can't travel if you have a child, and at that time there was a height requirement, so being 4'8", I wouldn't have been able to reach the overhead compartment, as most of my life I could have fit in the overhead compartment. So I thrive on sarcasm. It's my protection. It's my defense. It's my way of reaching out, I guess, at times. If I'm in an awkward situation or if it's uncomfortable, I tend to make jokes. Not about the situation, by no means. It's just how I am able to process it, and that's how I deal with it. Now, a lot of people that are watching this video that do know me will completely disagree with this next statement, but it is 100% true that I am very shy when I'm out of my element. But I am a people observer. I pay a close attention to detail, and once I kind of feel out the room or the people or my surroundings, then I kind of warm up a little bit. And when I do, though, it's usually like a snappy one-liner or something like that to kind of ease the mood or the tension or the awkwardness. So I loved working. I loved being at the school. As a mom with Aaron, I didn't start working till he was in school full time, but which, obviously as a single mom, I was on assistance. Aaron's dad is wonderful. Big part of his life, his entire life, as well as that side of his family, and his dad married the most amazing woman I think I've ever met. If I had to hand pick anybody that I would want to co-parent my son with, it would definitely be Tisha. She was younger, but her love of family is so mirrored to mine. The bond that she has with people, even with myself, being Aaron's mom. And as young as Tish was when they first started their relationship, she was very mature and very set with the fact of, I was Aaron's mom, period. There was never going to be any interference with her and Aaron's dad's relationship whatsoever, as my only concern ever is my children's happiness. I'll delve into some of that stuff throughout this process or this journey. But I can tell you one thing. Like I said, if I had to handpick anybody, if I couldn't be my son's mother, it would be her. Now, I know I am saying some first names, and I'm hoping that's okay, as I'm not doing it to, it's positive reasons why I'm bringing these up. Just like with Aaron's dad and I, we were very young. He was even younger than I was when we had Aaron. And, like I said, he has busted his ass off his entire life, as well as a young dad. He went to school full time and didn't even go home from school, really. Went straight to his part-time job till 11 o'clock at night. And he has continued to be that hardworking father. He's there no matter what, and I thank him for that, and I thank Tisha as well, because if anything, I know I've got, by no means are my kids perfect, please don't get me wrong there, but I know with the way that my kids were raised and the family and support that they have, that we all have raised two very good people in this world, which is very important. A lot of that's lost nowadays. So anyways, let's move this on. So like I said, I was a worker. I volunteered at the school. I volunteered in the community. I would donate, if I was working at one point, I was working at Tim Hortons, and they do their camp day every year. I volunteered my 8-hour shift, and donated that to the camp day so kids could go to camp. Kids are the most important thing to me. Really trying to get through this stuff without crying all the time. But not all the tears are sad. Some of them are happy, really. I'm just such an emotional person. Like I said, I wear my heart on my sleeve, so if it's going to be tears, they're going to come. I mean, I go watch my nieces and nephews do different things from when they were little, you know, rodeos and figure skating and gymnastics and hockey and football for my adopted kids that, you know, I love and protect as my own. One of the big things I need to share with you right away, though, about these videos is the fact that my short-term memory it's very, very, very terrible. I can tell you anything you want to know from when I was a kid. However, my short-term memory is absolute shit. I will forget what I'm saying mid-sentence. I will forget words that I'm trying to remember. Things like that. It's a struggle. So please, I hope you can understand and just bear with it. Now, I am making notes so that I'm not always just winging it. Anyways, this journey it's been a long journey. So 46 years, like I said, a young mom. There was some stuff as a child. Wasn't so good maybe, but like I said, that was prior to my dad coming into my life. So that's gone. Like I said, I love people. Love people. Doesn't matter who they are. Stranger the better, in all honesty, because another thing you need to know about me is I am crazy, but I am medicated, so we're good. So like I said, really big into the working force and the community and volunteering and so forth. How everything started with me, and I'm sure anybody that might be looking at this, not knowing anything about me, and I lost it, is the fact that looking at me, I look fine. Listening to me, I sound fine, other than tears. But in all reality, the only thing I have left that still works and functions the way I need it to is this big mouth right here. Again, natural born caregiver, natural born mother. I try to live up to that title, as those are big shoes to fill. And again, being 4'8", I don't have very big feet, but nonetheless. So yeah. Anyways, I guess it'll be, or it was, sorry, 5 years ago, November, when this issue started with me. I was doing data entry, and it was a 8-hour day of constant just data entry. Everything came in via email and so forth. So it was keying and whatnot, constant. There was, nothing else except keying. So I started getting some problems in my hands, in my wrists. My hands started to swell, severe pain, numbness, loss of feeling. I would drop things. Anyway, so when that started and we started to investigate it, obviously it's a huge process of elimination is what it really is, whether it's with your health specifically or with the reason why this is happening. And that's a very long process. So because it was hands, automatically the first thought would be carpal tunnel, which was not the case. And the doctor I spoke with that testing said that, there was zero carpal tunnel. However, visually you could see there was an issue. So again, there was a lot of picking and poking and prodding and tests and so forth. And it ended up, what I had or have is dequervating tendonitis. Now, what that is because all of your tendons run down from the main computer here, which is your brain, and they run down through your neck, down through your arm, and in through your wrist. So as I said, my hands were really swollen and there were huge lumps on my wrist. So when your nerves come down through your wrist here on the inside by your thumb, if you just move your thumb, you'll notice other things will move with it. Don't go by mine because these aren't what they should be anymore. But once the nerves come down through the wrist part here, there's a sheave. It's kind of like a C, but there's no give to it. It's not elastic. It's not like a muscle or anything like that. So when the tendons come down through and they're inflamed, there's nothing there's no relief. Therefore, so I ended up needing surgery. And I'm not one to let people down. That's the biggest thing I hate. I hate that, or the thought that somebody doesn't like me, or if I've upset anybody, because I would never intentionally ever want to hurt anybody in my entire life. It's just not who I am. I'm not vindictive by any means. But the journey that I'm taking has brought out some traits in me I didn't know existed. So, like I said, let's just get to where we got with the issues. So, like I said, first it was decorative vein tendonitis. I needed to have surgery to do a release. And I believe, if I remember correctly, what the surgeon told me is that what they do is they, I think it was that they took one of the nerves or whatever and had it on the outside of the sheath, so that there was no more cross fiction. Now, being who I am, so I just need to get this over with. The right hand got surgery first, as at the time it was my worst out of the two hands and was not my prominent. Once that was done, I then asked the surgeon how soon we could do the other hand. We did it 4 weeks later, not realizing I literally screwed myself, really, because I had no hands. The right hand, 4 weeks later, was still healing, so I had a little bit of, like I could use my fingers a little bit, but I couldn't hold anything, I couldn't grip anything, I couldn't carry anything, I couldn't do anything. And the only way I can describe this to you is if I were to duct tape your hands behind your back and put 50-pound weights on each arm and send you on your way to finish your day. You can't do anything really with no hands. Now, mind you, I do know there are people that have been born with no hands and are able to function in society with these issues. But most, I want to say, were either born with or I'm hoping at a younger age. One guy I know, famous drummer, Def Leppard, lost one of his arms in an accident, and well, his job needs hands because he drums. And not only was he able to drum again initially on electric drums, but he managed to reteach himself to drum with manual drums with one hand, and that's pretty phenomenal. However, everyone's journey and everyone's story is different. I will not judge you on your pain or your inabilities, your restrictions, your anything. As I said, this group is for everybody. Like I said, mental, physical, emotional, I'm here. If I can help you, I will. If I can't, and maybe I can just hear you out and possibly, point you in the right direction, by all means. Like I said, from the neck down, I'm pretty much useless. Memory's not that great, but the mouth works fine. So, this video is a little bit longer than I wanted it to be. but apparently I'm supposed to do in the moment. So, again, nonetheless, it started with the de Quervains. It then turned into mental and emotional disabilities and abuse, which we will get into on another day as well. And then at the very end of all of that, there's the fibromyalgia. Now, as I said, when you look at me, I look fine, but on the inside, everything is most times at a very high level of pain. I'm on numerous medications, and like I said, a little bit more about me. Never was a marijuana person socially, recreationally. Wasn't my cup of tea, didn't like it, never did it. Don't care if you did, just don't, put it on me kind of thing. However, on this journey of different medications and process of elimination, I've had some damage from medications. At one point I had a mild heart attack, which then gave me diabetes. I was able to reverse that, however, previously with the loss of the weight gain from the medication. And then I had emotional mental breakdowns to the point of suicide. But it's my reality. It's where it took me. There are certain things there where I can place blame. But that's not what this is about. This is about getting our message out and letting everybody know how we are really treated in these processes. Like I said, my story is an absolute living hell. And as we get more into the details of everything I'm going through, or I've gone through, or the battles and whatnot, I mean, between physical, mental, emotional, I will take all this pain over the financial burden, heartache, and insane abuse it causes. Like I said, as a natural born caregiver, I need to fix everything for everybody. It doesn't matter about me as long as everybody else is okay. Another day I'll talk a bit more about suicide, but it's a very hard subject to hear about, listen to, but even to talk about. But the one thing I need to be clear about is that if anyone you know has attempted or committed suicide or is talking about it or thinking about it, it's not you. It's not anything you've done. It's the love. I know for me personally, as I see myself as a burden to those immediately attached to me financially and so forth. And I know money's not everything, believe me, I know that. But it kills me to watch my family suffer. I'd much rather it be me suffering alone than to inflict that upon them or anybody else. So that's really a big thing that I need you guys to know. It's not for attention. It's not, oh, poor me. It's not being a whiny bitch. It's not sucking it up. It's not just getting over it. You can't just get over it. It's not possible. So anyways, we're at a half hour already. I apologize. But I did have some other comments and notes. Maybe I'll save some of them for tomorrow. But again, another thing I really, really, really need to be the focus of is that this didn't happen to me because of a choice I made. I didn't choose for this to happen to me. I didn't drink too much and get behind the wheel of a car. I didn't inject a dirty needle into myself. I didn't choose to do this. This happened to me. It chose me. And from things that I've read on my groups with my other fellow warriors who fight their battles, is that it chooses the doers. It hunts us down and it breaks us down, because we are the ones that do. And we do for everybody else except ourselves, because that's what makes us happy. And those are the people that this is killing. So please, if you're in public and somebody's not how you think they should be, or responding the way they should, or so forth, please just stop and think about what their journey might be right now, or what they're going through right now. You know, I used to work in the public. I worked in a bar, I worked in restaurants, I dealt with the public a lot, and the one thing I know for sure is that anybody that's mad at you, 9 out of 10, if you are in customer service, it has nothing to do with you. It could have been a fight with their wife, or their best friend, or their neighbor, or their brother, their sister, their mom, their dad, their child. It's not you. So, but the other big message that I really need to get out is that not all disabilities can be seen. If I could show you what is going on the inside of me, it would be horrifying to look at. Because it's pretty gory in here. And like I said, it's not something, I didn't choose this. I didn't do anything wrong. You know, and it's hard, because I've always believed that what you put out in the world will come back tenfold. So I'm still trying to figure out what I did. I'm kind of caught between what did I do wrong, or what is my lesson in this. I'm hoping that this page, these videos, this message, I hope this is my lesson. I'm supposed to do this. This is what I'm supposed to do, is to be the voice for those that can't be. I've had people comment saying how strong I am. And to me, this doesn't look strong. But they do say, you know, I mean, obviously most men are bigger with muscles than women, in the physical sense, looking wise, I mean. But the female is the stronger of the two. As we're built for pain. That's why we give birth and you don't. Not trying to be an asshole, just stating a fact. That's the other thing I want to talk to you guys about too real quick, is that these diaries aren't just going to be boo-hooing and whining and crying and so forth. I do want to throw a little comedy in there. I'm going to try and find some funny things, videos and so forth to post, because I guarantee you a video a day, whether it's a quick message or hopefully not this long of a message, but because this is the beginning of this journey, that's why there's a lot of stuff I need to go over. So, and by going to social media, my reason for doing this is the fact that so many times I've seen different videos where the video was their last message. And I don't want my video to be my last message. I don't want it to be your last message. like I said, I've got a big mouth, so it's time to start using it and fight for the people that need to be fought for. Actually, my husband's work got these bracelets where it says no one fights alone. And it's multicolored for all the different things. But the problem is, there are millions of us that are fighting this battle and other battles alone. So, it's time to break the silence. It's time to break the stigma. You know, you see somebody getting out of a car in a handicapped parking spot and they don't look handicapped, please don't judge. Because you know what? Even for me, I could probably get one. But it's the stigma and the thought of the dirty looks or the assumptions that people would think I was using it just as an easy parking spot, which I would never do. But there are days when even just running in is too much. I don't do a lot of outings on my own. They're very far and few between. I guess I maybe do it maybe once or twice a month, just to kind of get rid of the four-wall syndrome. So, like I said, thank you so much for the response that this has already received. It really, it means more than I can explain. Because when you get to this dark place and you feel invisible or insignificant or dependent, it's really hard. It's really, really hard. I don't even remember how I started that there. I had a point. Maybe it'll come back to me. But I've toyed with doing this publicly for over a year now. And it is happening now, I believe, is because I'm not doing this fight for me. I'm doing this fight for everybody else. So, somebody has poked Mama Bear. Mama Bear's up. And this fight is on. This battle is on. There will be no more silence. Okay? Medical professionals, government, healthcare, health officials, anybody. You guys need to understand. You want to know why the suicide rate is so high? This is the reason. This is the reason right here. Because it's where you all put us. Be it employers, doubters, doctors, nurses, anybody. This pain is real. It's not fake. And holy shit. Honestly, I've been the puppet. I've played the games. And I still can't win this legally. So how people screw over the government, I have absolutely no idea. Because it is beyond me. And I get it. It takes one bad apple to ruin it for the rest. But you know what? Kick that bad apple the fuck out. Because we need you. We need help. We need to be heard. And we need to be healed and recognized for the fight that we fight by ourselves. That's all I'm going to say about this today. I'm going to give you just a couple more short messages here. So, like I said, there's going to be a joke. There's going to be a song that is resonating with me, as music does that for me, no matter what. I associate everything with music. Time, place, people, feeling, all of it. So I will post the song that has resonated with me that day. But I will also post a song of myself, whether I'm standing, sitting, bending, waving, clapping, smiling, or dancing. There will be one song a day as well where it's going to pick you up. And there's going to be maybe a video or a joke or a funny story to tell you. Like I've got one for you right now. This is my funny story before I sign off. Let me see here if I can find it, because I really wanted to share it with you. So this is my funny thing, actually. It's on the MSM homepage. And again, anything I say is me personally, unless I've been given permission to quote from anybody else, unless it's public knowledge. I don't even know what the laws or the rules are anymore. I believe I have freedom of speech. I'm not sure. But anyway, so this is my funny story, and anything I say is my opinion. It's my opinion. It's unless I state it's fact, it's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to like it. But this page and this group and the people that are watching or listening, this is their safe place. So there will be absolutely no negativity allowed with regard to anyone's comments or stories or anything of the like. You know, if somebody needs to come onto my page and vent, by all means, come and vent. I'll listen. You know, and I might not be able to physically, but I am mentally going to hold you in my arms and rock you and tell you it's going to be okay. But I don't want any hate. I don't want any bullshit. If you or your company or your organization can help, please feel free to post or message me directly in the group, and I can get it out there. I don't want any scams. I don't want any bullshit. You know, we've taken enough of it. Again, I reiterate, not all of this is censored. So, you know, obviously it's just out on a whim. Anyways, your funny story for today will be on the page of MSN. Scientists say that there are 9 traits that if your man has them, don't ever let him go. Now, the one thing that I read over, which I just thought was freaking hilarious, and I'm hoping that you guys catch it too, was that scientists say the smarter your man is, the less likely he's going to cheat. Right? I'm thinking, that's not scientific. That's the Big Bang Theory. If your man is that smart, he's not doing the shit that all the other guys are doing. Because he's mentally, he is stimulated by learning. Again, guys, fact. In my opinion. So anyways, we're almost at 45 minutes. I do apologize. Again, we're at the beginning of this. There's so much I want to say to you guys, so much I want to share. But at this point, the videos are going to have to be a little bit long. So I'm going to say bye. I hope you guys have a great day. I really hope you liked my little funny story. Scientifically proven, apparently. Check the page out. I'm going to send you my song that resonates with me today. It's actually by Garth Brooks, and it's a song called To Make You Feel My Love from one of my favorite movies, Hope Floats. Just so you guys know. I love you all, and my cup runneth over.